My name's Kerry Craig Walker, and I would like to show you work I have done and the theory that I have about a creative energy of this universe. I have actually used physics, or quantum physics and quantum mathematics, to show in a direct way that there is in fact a cosmic intelligence or a creative energy or a creator of the universe and of all living things and non-living things. It's a creative energy of the whole cosmos. And what I did is I took mathematics and I showed through the use of mathematical proof of a creator is what this is, okay? And I show through these equations. One thing I'd like to read to here: a man named Bruce Harvey, who is a genius, has done great work in the area of physics. I'm grateful to him for his work, and I'm grateful to the very few physicists and scientists and anyone else that have learned to go beyond self in their endeavor to come upon the truth. And we have, these mathematical equations, and if we assume the E equals mc squared, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, and we come down here through the use of these equations through time, the speed of light, the charge, energy, and we come to an incredible couple answers here and a couple conclusions, and one of them is m equals -3. And m equals -3. That oh my God, -3. That's interesting, because the cosmos is the energy. And if we look at the fact that m equals -3, this shows that things are not so simple, because it demonstrates that mass is not mass as we once thought. In fact, there is no such thing as mass as physics has wrongly assumed in the past. All mass is in fact matter being held together by energy forces, and therefore there is no quote-unquote mass as we have come to know it. Now, this does not mean that mass cannot be used in certain conventional equations because of its components of matter that make up the energy we call mass. So it still works in most of these equations to some extent. This puts questions on our theories about gravity and brings in space-time curvature and possibly other unknown components. This is my theory based on the ability for the cosmos to utilize matter and energy along with electromagnetism and possibly other unknown components to bring about a, quote, directive mind, unquote, that can influence mutations in life forms by directing these designs in a specific direction. This energy may also affect matter in the universe in different ways. It is important to note that this is not an energy that has complete control. On the contrary, it has very limited control. Even though, let me say this, that when you're dealing with an infinite cosmos, the limited control is still incredibly powerful in its ability to control or things in its own directions, in its own way, in specific ways, but it doesn't have the control of the God that man has created. To be able to talk to people verbally or physically do things. Usually, to them, I mean, a God like that just would simply convey himself by talking to people and convey himself in any other way. But this energy doesn't have the ability to talk, as you and I do, and it doesn't have the ability to convey itself in the way that we would normally attribute to traditional gods of religions. This changes everything. There have been errors in the conclusions by Einstein's theories and other theories of the past, and they have yet to be corrected. The idea that God made everything and that everything is the same everywhere for everyone is one of the problems that created these errors. The fact is, there is no quote-unquote God as we have believed there to be, and the energy of the cosmos is capable of a limited directive intelligence, but this energy has nothing to do with the quote-unquote God of any of the many religions. The problem is our brains have come to incorporate thought, and therefore we are programmed environmentally, biologically, and genetically like computers. We are Catholics, Protestants, Buddhists, and so on. We are conditioned. We must come to realize, to see actually, not theoretically or ideologically, but actually see that we are programmed. It cannot be just a casual observation. If you are actually programmed, do you realize the consequences of being programmed? One of the consequences has been hatred or war or separating yourself from others. And really, we're not separate. We're all very much the same. So there's not this separation, if we can go beyond this illusion. If one realizes that you are being programmed, pressurized, preached at, and if one really sees that, you abandon it. You don't want a formula for it. The moment you have a formula, then you are caught back in it. Then you become programmed again because you have your program and the other fellow tries to give you another program. So what is important is to realize the actuality of being programmed, not intellectually, but actually with all of your heart, all of your blood, and all of your being. This also goes for our intellect. We are being taught that our intellect is all that is important, but this intellect with its knowledge is creating the same nonsense. So really we need to go beyond the known, the knowledge of the content of our brains, to come to this state of mind, or this mind that goes beyond the mere content of our brains. And in order to come upon this unknown, we have to discard the known. Now, to get back on track, the energy that I'm speaking of here, that is composed of many complex components, that brings about an actual capability of intelligence with a limited and flawed creative ability. This is not intelligent design as put forth by the ideas, I call them idiots, that support this nonsense, nor is it the creative intelligence that's put forth by the Christians or anyone else or any other religion. This is merely a very complex combination of matter, energy, kinetic energy, antimatter, protons, electrons, neutrons, quarks, cosmic rays, dark energy, neutrinos, electromagnetism, and etc. In an infinite cosmos that, by the combination of these components in a specific